Welcome to KITPLUS TV. Today I'm talking to Simon Jones of Densitron. Simon, hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Densitron has been in business for 50 years now around the control system and human interface field. How's your business changed over these 50 years?
Yes, we're really proud that this year is our 50-year anniversary. Densitron was founded back in the 1970s in Japan, and our mission originally was to bring Japanese LCD display technology to the West. So Densitron's been through three main evolutions over that period. From our starting point in Japan, the obvious first step was for us to build outposts and businesses in other markets to get closer to our customers. And a lot of those principles stay with us today. So, we will always have teams in your time zone, in your language, and in person, wherever you are in the world. So we've now got teams in the USA, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Slovenia, Taiwan, as well as, of course, our motherland in Japan. And at the end of the day, we think people like to work with people, right? So it's good to have people near to our customers. The second kind of evolution for Densitron was, as our customer base started to grow across the world, we got to learn more about the engineering problems that our customers faced. And we realized that just bringing technology from east to west wasn't enough. Actually, now we understood more about their engineering problems, we realized that we could customize the technology that we were offering them to help them more, of course, but then also to create loyalty and longer standing customers. So, we have customers today who've been working with us for over a decade because we've made something that's exactly suited to just what they want. They keep coming back, year after year, which we're very grateful for. And then the most recent evolution, which is the one that a lot of people perhaps watching this will know about, is we were bought by Quixent 5 years ago. And what Quixent did is they brought their expertise in computing and software to combine with Densitron's skills in displays and touch. So when you put all those things together, you get, exactly as you described, you get the human-machine interface and the control system. So then where broadcast fitted in is obviously over the years we've delivered to a lot of broadcast customers over the past 50 years. We decided to bring those skills in displays, computers and software together to solve some interesting broadcast technology challenges. So we've been spending the past sort of 5 years particularly focused on that vertical.
Sure. And what sort of challenges you're producing effectively intelligent dynamic control panels around the broadcast application?
Yeah, that's right. So I suppose two examples just to give a couple of highlights. So one I love to call Ditch the Switch, which is all about how human beings are moving much more towards interacting with machines using touchscreens, but not everybody's ready not to have the tactility of a button. So we spend quite a lot of money and time on creating hybrid solutions which feel like a button but are actually a touch screen. So that's one example of a problem we're trying to solve. And it's surprisingly difficult, actually. You think it's quite easy, but everybody has a lot of opinions on what a button should feel like. So getting the right one is really difficult. And then in the control system space, it's about simplicity and how complex broadcast systems and workflows can be automated and simplified using our IDS control systems. That's just two examples.
We talk about broadcast because that's the business we're fundamentally in, but I guess this sort of technology has applications in other areas.
Yeah, so I mean, very recently we've obviously been doing a lot in the medical sector. So because of the global situation, we actually already had a lot of customers in medical. So again, over the 50 years, we've won and retained a lot of medical customers. And what's interesting about medical is when it comes to human-machine interfaces, there's a surprising amount of similarities between medical and broadcast. And you wouldn't think it at first, but there's a surprising amount. And two examples are, whether in a broadcast studio or an operating theatre, you cannot afford for it to break down, right? Because that causes you a big problem. And secondly is having accurate, precise timing is also very important in medical as it is in broadcast. And then things have to be really easy to use when you're under pressure. So whether it's the pressure of the OR or the pressure of a studio, things have to be really easy and intuitive to use. So the sort of the trust we built in the medical sector has meant that we've been doing a lot of work helping out during the crisis, trying to keep products flowing.
Well, that's excellent news, of course. We all would quite like this crisis to be over, but we need to make it as safe as possible. So what's next? How are you taking your current set of learnings and moving it into the future? And do you think we will see a change in the way we want to react with machines? Will we go off the whole idea of multi-user keyboards, for instance, where lots of people are sticking their fingers all over things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's probably two sets of things to talk about. One is, everybody wants to talk about the kind of sexy technology bit, which obviously we love talking about as well. But before that, and something that we've learned from the pandemic, particularly with our medical customers, is how important the supply chain is. So however clever or good your technology is, getting those things from A to B is really, really difficult in a global pandemic. And we luckily our supply chain is over 50 years. We've got quite good at it, right? So we've got a pretty robust supply chain, and we've managed to keep those products flowing out of the Far East into all of our different markets. So I think that is a non-technology but very important trend that will continue. Is supply chains will come under a lot of pressure, whether it's component input stocks, whether it's logistics, whether it's having people to actually run those logistics. That's really, really important. So we've spent a lot of effort getting the kind of basics right. Although it's a bit boring, it's really important, because if you can't get stuff from A to B, then you're no use to anyone. So I think that's the first area of kind of innovation that we've been pushing on, which is a bit boring but really important. So I'm more on the technology and the kind of sexy technology side. I think a lot of what we're doing with Ditch the Switch plays quite well into an environment where people are more sensitive about infection control. Because a standard push button that goes into a recess, obviously there's lots of nooks and crannies for bacteria and things to get caught and stuck. Whereas if you look at our control surfaces, you can either have a touch screen that can be wiped clean, of course, or with our hybrid solutions, they're much easier to clean and keep clean than a kind of an old-fashioned sort of push-button type switch. So I think some of the things that we're working on already are applicable in that environment, as well as having probably more rugged machine interfaces. So if we look at remote production environments, for example, things get knocked around a lot more, so that reliability point's really important. As well as potentially higher temperature ranges and other considerations. So it's one thing of having the great technology that looks good and works really well. There's another part about it needing to be robust enough to work in a high pressure environment. And then there's the third part of you've got to get it from A to B in the first place. So we hope we're sort of making some really good progress on all those three fronts.
Yeah, interesting points. One of the things I think we will find in the future is that our view around control surfaces is going to change, because they won't be in a nice desk in a studio anymore. They'll be on somebody's kitchen table, and they'll have to be cleared out of the way so that the beans on toast can be served. So yeah, clever control surfaces that are very, very reliable, I think, will be a big thing.
Yeah, we hope so. We totally agree.
Simon, it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. You can find out more about Densitron by following the link that's on the screen now. And if you want to hear more from KITPLUS TV, then go to kitplus.com.